Welcome to Learning Life Skills Together. This is our weekly community Zoom meeting where our guests help us to go deeper into the 4 life skills and open up a huge array of chances to practice them. Hello, everyone. This is Learning Life Skills Together, weekly Zoom meeting number 97. And I'm here with Winnie Hardy, who is a fiber artist and more. And we will be chatting with her really about the skill of connection and belonging, and probably all the other 4 skills too. Um, so we'll see how this conversation goes. But first, as we always do, let's take a moment to get ourselves settled a little bit. So maybe just checking into your body right now. Are you in a comfortable place? Is your posture a comfortable one for you? And as you do that, just checking in. How does your body feel right now? Sometimes we surprise ourselves at how much effort is happening in our body. So we can actually just allow ourselves to drop into our posture, to be held here by gravity and not so much by our own work. Let ourselves sink in, maybe. And one of the things that happens as we sit and are a little bit quiet is maybe we notice that our breath is happening. We don't have to do it. I'm not asking you to do breathing exercises or something. I'm just saying, see what's happening with your body as you're settling in and quiet. Maybe the out breath pulls you up a little bit. Maybe there's a little effort that goes into that. And when you breathe out, maybe there's a little dropping in or dropping down. And you could just pay more attention to that out breath than to the in breath. You might even see if there's a pause between the end of the out breath and the beginning of the in breath. So just aware of how this is for you right now, how your body feels. Are you settling in? And noticing what's happening in your mind. As we like to think about, what's the weather in your mind? Could be clear, could be foggy, could be that there's a storm brewing or a storm happening. All of those things are possible, and just like the weather, they also change. So just noticing how you are, and when you have an idea of that, you could open your eyes if they're closed. And here we are. Well, here's Winnie and I anyway. So I'm gonna ask Winnie how that was for her, since I
It
can't
was
ask
very
you.
relaxing. It reminds me of my yoga practice in the morning.
Ah, okay.
So it's really good. It's really good.
So, Winnie, we have talked before, and you have so much going on in the fiber arts world that I'm wondering if you could just give a quick profile of what sort of your history with fiber arts and what you're up to right now.
Mm. Oh, yes, I can definitely do that. My fiber arts journey is I wouldn't say, well, yes, it is. It is long. It is long. I started crocheting when I was 10 years old, and then I stopped. And life happened, of course, and you don't do that for a while. And then I became a flight attendant, and I was on a flight, and there was a woman doing crochet, or I thought was knitting or something, and I stopped her, and I was going down the aisle working, and I saw her doing a stitch, and I asked her what she was doing, and she called it the Afghan stitch, which is referred to now as the Tunisian crochet. And so it brought me back to it. And once I started back up, I never stopped after that. And then life happened again, and careers changed, and I ended up going into a yarn shop and looking for the supplies to do Tunisian crochet. And the woman there asked me if I knew how to do it, and I said yes. And she said, did I want to teach? And so that's how it all started back in 2000, and I would say 13, 2013. And I've been doing it ever since. And so I've been at the shop that is in Haddonfield, New Jersey, a little yarn shop there that I work at and I teach. And Then I moved to Pennsylvania, and I wanted to start a community here. So I started a community here with a library. I wanted to get a community together, and I have, and now that's going now for 2 years. And then after that I said, well, I want to teach up here too. So I started my own LLC. So now I do that with Made. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you have sort of a destination for that online. And
Yes.
so it's wame.com, right?
Yes.
W
Yes. Made.
W-A-H
Yep. WAH. That's my,
M-A-D,
yes. That's my
M-A-D-E.
initials.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
Made. Yes. I have little tags that I put on everything that I make that says Made.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
So
it's your initials.
it's my initials, Winifred A. Hardy. Yes.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, clarity comes.
Yes.
All right, very cool.
Yeah.
So, this idea of you sort of fell into a community when with the shop in
Yes.
Field, and then you came up here to intentionally and wanted intentionally to create one. So we
Yes.
really do have that drive to belong, which is
Yes.
one of the things that we're really talking about right now in sort of our rollout of the 4 skills. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're really involved in connection and belonging.
Mm-hmm.
That idea, the idea of belonging that we have is one where it is something that you care deeply about, that that you're
Yes.
gathering around, and then you care deeply about each other. Maybe even
Yes.
it's because of the thing that you care about, or maybe
Yeah.
it goes a lot deeper than that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's a place where when you're not there, you are missed. And
Yes.
somebody's likely to say, where were you
Yeah.
on Wednesday
Yes.
night?
Because matter of
We
fact, my
were all
group is
there.
today. Yeah, I know. It's funny because my group is today, and I told them I wasn't going to be there, and they were like, "Ah, you haven't been here for a couple of weeks. Where are you?" So yes,
Ooh,
yes, yes.
yeah,
It it
okay.
it, it definitely is that. It's being at the shop. It's so funny because when you start something, whether you start it alone or you start it with someone, and when you start it with alone and you find the gratification of it, you want to share it.
Hmm.
And then, once you share it, then it's almost like the movie. If you build it, they will come. So, and that's kind of what happens. And that's what happened there. And I also found, which I did not know, I love teaching. I love to teach it. I love it. It's,
Mm,
after being a flight attendant, teaching feels like that's what I should have been doing forever because I
mm.
really enjoy doing it. I love all my students. They just it's something that gives you all the feelings. All the
Yeah,
feelings it gives you. All
yeah.
the feelings. Yeah.
And when it's a making practice, when it's an artistic
Yeah.
practice, you get to see everybody else's sort of imagination and
Yes.
capacity. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you do. You get that, and you get, like I said, you get the community, you get the you kind of search them out or they search you, and it's
Yeah.
definitely another aspect of it because it's very portable. So that's the other thing. It's a
Yes. Yeah.
portable, art skill. You can take it wherever you go. And usually when you do it, someone's going to ask you, what are you making? So that
Hmm.
starts the conversation.
Yeah.
That starts the conversation, which could lead to a friendship, which could lead to, once again, community.
Yeah. So
So,
it's that whole connection part.
yeah,
Yeah. To be
yeah.
able to talk to someone and to be able to show interest.
Yes,
Others.
yes, yes, it
Yeah.
does. It really, it's a great art form to do
That,
because it
yeah.
is, yeah,
So we have that basic skill of being able to communicate effectively with others and being able to, particularly for kids, but it's also entirely true of adults, is being
yes,
able to communicate what you need
yes,
in the
yeah,
moment. And
yeah,
so maybe in that teaching learning thing, that's part
yeah,
of your community that
yeah.
comes out.
Yes, yes, it definitely does. You were talking about the communication or you know getting people
Connection.
to talk. Like now everybody is on their phones. Everybody's on their phones, so that takes away the communication. Nobody's communicating with anybody face to face. Let's put it that way. You are doing the communication, but I know that it's hard for kids nowadays. My daughter, same thing. When she was younger, they played together, and then when the phones came out, they felt safe behind a phone. This
Yeah.
brings this brings a common interest with somebody. So whether that
Yes.
or even if they don't do it, it brings curiosity. So when you're doing something, it sparks somebody. And whether you're on a train and you're doing it, and someone across from you looks over and says, and then they start looking and they want to know. That is what we're missing today
Yeah.
in the the connection with people. And that's one of the reasons why I do like it. And that's one of the reasons why I carry it with me all the time. And when I don't have it with me and I see someone else doing it, because
Oh, yeah.
lately there's a lot of people out there doing it. And yeah, I see them all the time. And I'm always asking, what are you doing? What are you making? And that
Yeah.
sparks the conversation. And it just it breaks the ice.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
breaks the ice. And I
Yeah.
think our kids need more of that. They need to be able, they're losing the skill of communication with people. They're losing that. They're losing that. And I think when you do this form of art, it brings that out. It brings the communication. It breaks
Yeah.
the ice. I'll put it that way.
And speaking of the electronic devices, to crochet, it takes two hands. I mean,
Yes, yes, it does. Now I
so,
have to say, I do get I do fall down rabbit holes. There are a website that you go on and you're looking at patterns and you're looking at what other people are doing.
oh,
So
yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that, but I want to get my hands in there. It gives me inspiration to want to get my hands in there to work. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And to have somebody show you something is usually works better than
yeah.
being presented with a pattern, unless you're really good. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, the pattern is what gets you the spark, but then it's like I don't understand it. So you need someone to explain it to you. You
Yeah.
need
Okay.
somebody to teach you how to read that pattern. Or,
Yeah.
it's but then it, like, once again, it becomes a
Dialogue.
yes, it
Yeah.
becomes a
Yeah.
dialogue. I did this pattern, I didn't like it, because it did this, it did that, it did that, and it's like, okay, well, then you can do this or you can do that. So it's still, it brings everything. I mean, I've reached out to designers and talked to them about their patterns. So it's definitely something that becomes a passion if you let it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of freestyle crocheters out there that are artists. I do
Yes.
know
Yeah.
artists that do it,
Absolutely.
and it is. I have some students that just blow my mind. I mean, they've taken it to the next level than what I would ever want to do, and it brings me so much joy and so much pride in the things that they do that I've taught.
Yeah.
So that's, that's the good thing. I do like that. But the main thing that I like the most is with it is you have to, like you said, you have to use two hands, and it gives you the community that it does. That's what
Yeah.
I like about it.
Yeah. And
Mm.
so you're all gathered around that one thing, which is really,
Yeah.
really fun because, you know, finding what's in common with us
Yeah.
seems to be difficult sometimes. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
And
is.
so there it is, just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
waiting for
I
people to
yeah.
gather around it.
Yeah, it does. And it also, I think, and I've taught younger kids, and this is what's been really great when I teach it. Then they go to their schools and they're doing it, and then their little girlfriends or even boys will do it too, and they
Yeah.
want to learn from them. So they've started their own little knitting groups, which is
Yeah.
great, and it just makes me so happy when I see that, and they're just it's wonderful.
It's terrific. And the incidence of men crocheting
Oh yes,
particularly is has really like exploding.
it's
There are
the
a
explode.
lot of professional athletes who
Yes,
crochet.
yes, everybody. Yes, if you watching the Olympics, there was a skier, and he was saying that she was before she would do a run. She's up there knitting, and
Yeah.
so it's like, because
Yeah.
it's a calming. It
And so
calms
I
you.
think that's it. I think it's like, okay, this takes me out of myself. I'm not sitting here worrying about how my run is going to go because if I don't, especially knitting, if I don't watch out, I'm going to drop a stitch and then I'll have to go all the way
Oh,
back to undo it. Yeah. Yeah. So,
exactly,
awesome.
exactly, exactly.
So yeah, so this idea of paying attention, of course, is our first and basic building block, our first
Yeah,
skill in the life skills is
yeah,
paying attention to something and to how we feel while we're doing it.
doing it. Oh yeah,
And so, all of the arts sort of give us that opportunity to discover that being drawn in, being
yeah,
pulled in to some,
yeah,
well, the sports do too.
yeah,
Speaking
yeah,
of a ski run,
yeah,
you
yeah,
need to be paying attention. Yeah,
mm,
so we sort of get an opportunity to practice those things, which I think
yeah,
is really, you know, something worth passing on to the kids. So even if it's just in that way,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
come here, watch what I'm doing.
yeah,
You think you could do this? No.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I always tell my students say that all the time, and I'm like, don't sell yourself short. You got this. That's my one of my favorite sayings is don't
Yeah,
sell yourself short.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You'd be surprised at what you think you can't do, and then you do. So, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, I'm just sort of touching down on these things. So this being mindful, this paying attention is something that's, built right in to crochet, knit, weaving,
yes,
I mean, all of the fiber arts. And
right,
and what's cool is you brought up the idea that when you get a lot of it down, you're not tethered to a pattern. You can do what you want.
I want to
You
do.
can make it up.
Yep.
My daughter has been knitting and crocheting for more than 20 years.
Hmm.
And if she sees something that she wants to crochet, to make
Yep.
a crocheted version of, she
Yep.
sits down and does it.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, as if she were sketching.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But
Yeah.
once you develop those skills,
Yeah.
it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Dad, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do the same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's the thing, I think about, and all the things that the articles that they've been putting out about fiber arts and what it does for your health is it's amazing, with stress levels, with blood pressure, with
Yeah.
memory, with it's good for your hands, because it gets your hands moving and working. It's good for arthritis. It's good for, I
Hmm.
mean, all kinds of things. I think I mentioned to you earlier about they used to call it the grandma hobby. And now it's like the grandmas knew more than what we knew. so,
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, give me the grandma hobby. I want the grandma hobby
Yeah.
because it has a lot of benefits that we've lost. First of all, there's a lot of benefits, things that we used to do back in the day that we no longer do because of all the technology and everything. And now
Yeah.
it slows you down. That's the other thing, where everybody wants everything quick, 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 fast, and in a hurry. This makes you sit and just what you did before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
It makes you sit. It makes you breathe. It makes you take a deep breath and get
Yep.
in and feel what's happening. So yeah.
And so this is sort of our skill of balance, our
Right.
skill of being able to regulate ourselves emotionally. And so
Exactly.
we have talked about a lot of different techniques that work and things that work. And here's, another thing that you can do that is pleasurable, that gives you a product at the end, and it helps you regulate your emotions.
Yes.
I mean, it's got a lot going for it.
It's got a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
in that way. And the other connection that I want to sort of make for everybody is that, our four skills are that attention, emotion regulation, and then getting through tough times, we call it
Oh
really
yeah.
simply,
Yes.
distress tolerance would be
Yes.
the highfalutin term. But
Yes.
really, it's like I am in this period where the problem that I have is not going to go away. I have to work on it or wait until it's done and
Yeah.
goes away. So the things that we talk about doing there are what are ways that we can take a break, get
Mhm.
ourselves out of ourselves, get over ourselves, really, honestly.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Look, you got to get over yourself because this is happening and there's nothing you
exactly.
can do about it, right? So
Exactly.
just get over it. Here you go. So how do we do that? Well, one way is to have a passion. And you said the word.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
not pulling that one out of anywhere.
Yep. Yep.
That's if you when you have a passion, you can turn to that.
Yep.
And that's so what we want for our kids.
Yeah.
I am so glad that my daughter can sit down and say, okay, I'm going to make that
I I
and
know
just do
exactly.
it. And
Exactly. Exactly.
like my wife keeps trying and she will, work away at it. And, well, I'm working on this thing, it'll be months. And she finally,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
daughter's like, oh, yeah, I made that in a day, Dad.
Yeah. Well, sometimes those projects have to go in timeout. That's all. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
they go in a little timeout for a little bit, and then you start something else. So yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very, very helpful in both balancing you
Mm-hmm.
and taking you out of your little time, as I always say, your little tiny self
Yep.
that's like, oh, I'm so messed up. I'm so sad. I'm so angry, whatever it is. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, get over yourself
Yeah.
and do something that you're passionate
Yeah.
about.
Do something at your
Have
back.
when we have that break, we can at least go back and say, okay, now what is this really? What do I really have to
Yes.
really happening here? We
Yes.
get ourselves messed up,
Yeah. Yeah, we
thinking
do.
too much.
Yeah. I think we do. We get, overstressed. And when you do have an outlet, what they call it, you do have an outlet, whether it be pottery, you make pottery, whether it be whatever you do, what you do with your hands, or whether it be gardening, or whether it be cooking, or whether it be knitting or crocheting. It's that it's that safe place.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
safe place. It's the place that you think. I know I do a lot of thinking when I'm knitting, not just on the pattern, because you get into a rhythm. You get into a
Hmm.
rhythm of what you're doing. And as you're doing it, you do a lot of thinking. And um, it's almost like you've knitted or crocheted clarity.
Yeah, so it's not a
Yeah.
distraction.
No.
People think, in those terms when you're saying, well, find something to do. That
Yes.
is, find something to distract yourself. If it's your passion, if it's something that you're invested in, it's not a distraction.
It's a
It,
calming, is
it's a
what it is.
calming thing because it's taking you
Yes.
out of yourself and putting
Yep.
you into
Yes.
that product that you're working towards. So that the
But
whole,
also, yes, yes. But it also can clarify what you went in there for.
yeah,
You can find
yeah.
clarity through that.
Because you
And
you
yes,
as you said, slow down.
you slowed it down.
Yeah,
You
because your
slowed.
mind can get going pretty
Yeah.
fast. I have noticed this over the years that
Oh yeah.
sometimes your mind speeds up. Yeah, good to
Everything,
slow.
heartbeat, everything speeds up.
It's good to slow it down. Yeah.
It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have touched on all four skills,
Good.
which is terrific, and maybe made sense of them in a different way
Yeah.
for our listeners. And
Yeah.
so we come to my favorite spot in our weekly Zoom call. And so that spot is where I ask you if you have a watchword or some words of wisdom for us.
Oh, wow. You put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I want to go back to, don't sell yourself short. You know,
Mm.
don't sell yourself short. You have this, and I say a lot of this, when I tell my students, and they quote me all the time. I know. I have to admire my work. I think we,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. That's
and
nice
it's
too.
yeah, it's you do have to admire what you do daily, and whether it be what you're doing or what not, but you have to be kind to yourself. That's the other thing that I do. I also do a Instagram thing that I do called Sundays with Winnie 5. And I do a post every Sunday or Monday on Instagram, and that's what it's
Mm.
called, at Sundays Winnie's with 5. And I usually talk about knitting, or I'll talk about some other things. I put some wise stuff in there, but I always end it with remember to be kind to yourself, and always please be kind to others.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think that is what we need to focus on a lot.
We can't hear that enough as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
No. So
absolutely.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Winnie. It was
Oh, you're
terrific.
welcome. This was great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.